Hi, my name is Jencie Gibson. I am a student at the University of the Bahamas. Today, I will be interviewing Bahamian artist Mr. Antonius Roberts from my music class titled Music and Folk Culture of the Bahamas.
Touch me everything I've got. Touch me plum and me apple too. Here's one thing you just can't do. All you do is
Antonius Roberts. I was born January 11th, 1958. I graduated from the Philadelphia College of Art, which is now the University of the Arts, in 1981. I came home. I taught at Government High School for 10 years, and then I took a break, and then I taught at the University of the Bahamas, not the University of the Bahamas then, but I taught at the College of the Bahamas for 10 years. And then I left teaching. And most recently, I've been invited back. So I've been actually on contract specifically to deal with the art collection and to develop, to help to develop, further develop the art program and to assist with creating opportunities for the art students at the University of the Bahamas, and also to focus on fundraising for the college. But during the years that I've been teaching, I'm also the founding architect for the Central Bank Annual Art Exhibition and Competition. I started that in 36 years ago. I run the FINCO Summer Art Program, which ran for over 30 years. I am one of the, I should say, I've been very much involved with establishing the National Art Gallery of the Bahamas. I've been on the first committee, and I've lobbied the government to purchase Villador for the National Art Gallery of the Bahamas. I am the founder of Junior Junkanoo in 1984, which started at the Government High School. And so that's a little bit about me.
Wow, Mr. Roberts, you have an extensive history in art. Wow. So,
Most of the art faculty who are here are former students of mine.
wow. Was it always your goal to become an artist?
I don't know if I had a goal to become an artist initially. How I got into art, growing up, I had a speech impediment, and I used to stammer or stutter a lot, and kids used to tease me. So as opposed to going out and playing during recess, this was in primary and junior high school, I would stay in the classroom and I would draw. And so I've noticed over a period of time, with the support of teachers, I got better. And then students started, when they come into the classroom and they saw my drawing, they stopped teasing me and started celebrating my drawing. So I learned very early in my life that I was able to deal with some of my issues and also build relationships through art. And so I've always had the desire, and I was disciplined enough to draw as often as I could. And so it became second nature for me. And I guess over a period of time, it was in 1973, during the independence celebration, when I listened to the speech by Sir Lyndon Piddling to say that we are now an independent nation and now we need all hands on deck. We need every Bahamian to make sure that they're professional, they become professionals and they're able to help build this country. And so it was at that time I realized, hey, maybe I could be a teacher, because most of my teachers were foreign teachers at the time, and there's always been a need for qualified Bahamian art teachers. Even today, they're still searching for qualified Bahamian art teachers. And so I just got into making a decision to choose art as a career, not with the intention of being a teacher, but just saying, no, I want to be an artist. And so here I am.
So, at the beginning of your career, did you ever had an artist that you looked up to, or?
Absolutely.
Tell me about it.
I'm sorry I'm speeding this along because we're trying, right? um, when I came out of high school, I was fortunate enough to meet an artist, a Bahamian artist, by the name of Brent Malone, Richard Brent Malone, R. Brent Malone, who is known as the father of Bahamian art. I graduated, I got my high school certificate, and then I needed to go and find somebody who would give me a job and who would support, because I didn't have any funds to go off to school. And so I went to Brent Malone because he was known as the father of Bahamian art. He was known as the artist in the country, and he took me in. He gave me a job, and I became his assistant for about 2 years before I was able to go off to college. And so I credit Brent Malone with teaching me all that I know. I've learned the business of art from Brent Malone. I've learned how to curate or display artworks from Brent Malone, and I've really learned the value of discipline and to not limit myself just by working with Brent Malone, who actually studied in London, but he came home and he made a career out of art. And so I always looked up to Brent Malone.
That's great. I want to ask you, how is art beneficial or important to Bahamian culture?
Oh my goodness.
What role does art play in
Well,
Bahamian culture?
I think we can broaden that question a little bit. Art, there is a thought that if you want to learn about a people, and if you want to learn about history, look at works that have been produced by artists of a period in time. And when I say works, I'm not just talking about painting or drawing. I'm talking about music, I'm talking about literature, because artists have a way of becoming the mirror of a society. So the role that art plays in the development of any and every society is that the artists tend to be that voice, tend to be the conscience that says this is the direction we should go in, this is what we need to focus on, or this is where we are. And so artists are very, very, very important in helping to lead a country in the direction that it needs to go. And I'll give you an example right now. Right now we are talking about environmental issues, and we're talking about global warming and et cetera, et cetera. But you find that, you know, a lot of people will talk about this, but the artist will use his or her talent to illustrate, okay, and bring greater attention to issues, global issues, issues that are relevant to helping to move a people forward. And so I'm hopeful that artists in the Bahamas are seen and appreciated for the efforts that they are making towards helping to shape the future of the Bahamas.
Okay. I'd like to ask you about your art. What art or your piece was the most popular or got a lot of attention? I know it's many, but what piece of art?
One right now that is getting the most attention is my latest piece that I did at the Royal Towers at Atlanta, which is called Swing in My Heart. I did this very large red heart, and I put a swing in it, and it's fast becoming a must-see and must experience at the Royal Towers in Atlanta. So that was the latest piece, and it's a very simple concept. I was asked to do an interactive piece, and so I thought, hey, Atlanta's a heart, why not just create a swing, but let that swing be a heart? And people are just, it is just blowing up. And so that is the current, but it's fresh, it's new, but the work that I have done that has the greatest longevity, and the one that has opened many doors for me, not only locally, but globally, has been Sacred Spaces.
I've seen it.
Okay, Sacred Spaces, which had been a part of a collaborative project, which was spearheaded by New Providence Community Church and with Tyrone Ferguson. and it was supposed to be a celebration of the cleanup of Clifton. And so we did this installation out of Clifton, and that installation just celebrates the importance and the resilience and the beauty of Bahamian women of color. And so therefore it was my opportunity to celebrate my mother, my grandmother, the women in the neighborhood who took care of the kids and so forth, women of color. And so it provided me with an opportunity to celebrate my African ancestry.
Okay, now we've talked about your art. What art are you looking at right now? Who do you feel, what catches your eye right now?
To be honest with you, the artwork that really catches my eye right now are works that have been done by, I would say, the Impressionist artists, and I'm looking a lot more at artists from the Renaissance period, and I'm also looking at indigenous artists as well, because I'm still trying to wrap my brains around a lot of the modern art, because and not only the modern art but contemporary art and what they call conceptual art, because for me I love work where artists can show their artistry, where craftsmanship is involved, where there is discipline, and I can see a process and understand the process. And so right now I'm looking at a lot of contemporary artists. I'm looking at a lot of younger artists, but I am more moved by works that have been done, particularly by the Impressionist movement, and also the works that were done by the artists during the Renaissance period, because that was the birth of Christianity, and I'm still exploring the whole impact of Christianity and the role it is playing within our country today, and so, but that's a personal kind of journey that I'm on.
Okay. So how has your art changed over time during the years? Would you say you lean on maybe towards sculptures or paintings? How do you change?
I don't limit the choice of my material. I choose my material based on the problem I need to solve, or based on the access I have to different media. For example, I am just finishing up a stained glass project. So I've had the opportunity for the last year to work in stained glass, to travel to Orlando, to work with a stained glass artist, and I've been exploring the art of stained glass, hence my study and research of the Renaissance period and so forth. I love it. I want to work in glass. So right now I'm working a lot with glass, even though I'm sculpting with wood. I'm also I'm working with glass. I'm finishing up this stained glass project, and it is magnificent. It is amazing. It is an amazing journey, particularly with the technique that I'm working with. I've worked in glass before, glass and metal. I don't know if any of you have had the opportunity to travel in the domestic section at the airport. The installation that's above the staircase with all the bubbles and the stainless steel. Well, that was one of my major installations, and I get a lot of reaction from that as well. So I'm one of those artists who I'm never going to be stuck, and I'm brave enough to explore, to reinvent myself, because I think that's what artists should do. Should always be open for growth.
Okay, my last question is, what advice would you give to an up-and-coming Bahamian artist, and what kind of advice would you offer them?
The advice that I'd offer them, right off the top of my head, is not to be caught up in this instant fame as it relates to social media. I find a lot of artists, and whether they be musicians, whatever, are quick to show themselves off in social media, a one-time sort of thing, and forget that it is important to do your research. It's important to spend time developing yourself, developing your craft, making art. So whenever there's somebody who sees you on social media, when they reach out to you, you have something other than what you put on social media to share.
I told you.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so you see stuff on social media. When you go to the real spot, you go, well, there's nothing here, because it only exists in social media. And so that is a trap that a lot of young people are falling into. And so therefore, this whole concept of working hard, concept of being disciplined, and the whole concept of really taking time to truly develop oneself, to truly be disciplined and truly work hard and develop your work ethic. It is very important. I'm only, and you please put this in, all right? I am only allowing you to do this interview because it is important to reach out and help.
Please, mister, don't touch me tomato. Please don't you touch me tomato. Touch me yam, me pumpkin potato. For goodness sake, don't touch me tomato. Touch me this, you touch me that. Touch me everything I've got. Touch me plum and me apple too. Here's one thing you just can't do. All you do is feel 'em, feel 'em. Ain't you tired of the feeling?